Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Right Man in the Wrong Place. My name is Luke Tatum. I react to music, and I'm really happy that you're here choosing to spend your time checking out music with me. We're going to be listening today to Sheeple by Tom MacDonald. I have never heard this song before. This will be my fourth or fifth Tom MacDonald reaction, so very much a novice when it comes to the Tom MacDonald library because he's done quite a bit of material, but I've enjoyed everything I've done so far. This is from his 2022 album Renegade. This is another donation request from Stephen Ellis. Stephen, thank you very much for the donation and the request. Don't know why that was difficult to say all of a sudden. But right down here is the link for that if you have a donation request of your own. I do get a lot of requests in the comments. I do read every single comment on the channel. However, even when the Hangover Gang shows up in force and is dropping, 25 different Tom MacDonald requests, it doesn't necessarily mean I can get to all those. I only do one song per day on this channel because that's a schedule I think I can keep up with. And so just be aware. I will prioritize the donation requests, but that doesn't mean I won't ever get to the ones in the comments. I just can't make you any promises on when I will get to those. So, keep on doing what you're doing. I appreciate y'all so much. Every subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. It's wonderful and it really helps the channel out. So, gratitude to all of y'all. All right, let's go. This is, again, Tom MacDonald, Sheeple. I have the lyrics pulled up. Maybe this won't be another 45-minute reaction like the last Tom MacDonald song I did. But hey, we'll find out what happens. Let's go.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis, controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie.
Okay, so this probably is going to be a long reaction. Bear with me. Humans been controlled since the day that they was civilized. Of course, you get your kind of loose English rules here, but the idea that humans created government to protect their rights and all this stuff is not really correct. Okay, taxation, right? Stealing stuff from the people in a given geographical area, that's something that conquerors do, right? There's this idea that you would go and raid and pillage like the Mongols in China or something. You go into an area, you take things from people, you loot the population, and then you return home and count up your spoils, right? Well, this great advancement in the looting and pillaging business was, what if you stay set up in a given area and just extract a certain amount of the product of the whole area on a recurring basis? You don't have to swoop in and risk your lives in a big way, trying to acquire all this loot like pirates. You just, hey, we rule this area now, so if you want us to, not harm you and your family, then just give us 15%, 20%, 40% of your, plants that you grow on your farm, your, products that come from your animals, etc., right? And that's what taxation is. Taxation. I'm having a hard time with S's today. Taxation is theft, right? I said that in the last Tom MacDonald video. That's just what it is. And it's never not been that. So it's just an organized, systematized, easier to accept method of looting and pillaging. And so that's completely correct, that first line. There's a lot to say about the first line. If that's any indication, we're going to be here for a minute, but I hope you're here for it. I really like doing these. So yeah, find out who you're not allowed to criticize if you don't know who's controlling you. Excellent point, right? You have these weird lines that you're not supposed to cross sometimes in modern society. Now, the race division stuff in the next portion of the lyrics here, I mean, right, like if you wanted to say, okay, we're going to go back in history and right every wrong that has ever been done, which it's very attractive on a certain level to do that kind of thing. Like I've been in every political affiliation way back when before I knew anything. I used to be a bleeding heart. I was in the Democratic Party for a period of time. Then I moved over to the Republican Party, became less involved with that because I saw that it was, just as bad, right? And I became disenfranchised with that. I'm apolitical at this present time and have no interest whatsoever. Like I'm not a libertarian party guy. I'm just a libertarian. You might see people say small L libertarian, right? Libertarian ideas, not libertarian party. And so this idea that I'm not really sure that was kind of a tangent, but this idea that you could go back in time and fix all wrongs, like, yeah, there's been some horrific things that have been done in the past. Absolutely correct. Absolutely true. But nobody alive today did those things, right? Or like there is an active slave trade in the world now, but like your neighbor 2 blocks down didn't do anything, right? They didn't do anything. And also, conversely, the people who are around today who are like descendants of slaves were not directly harmed like in the present, right? It's not that it's not that they were born on a plantation somewhere, right? And we're not just talking about particular races either, right? I mean, every race has historically been enslaved by some other race at various points in history. And so if you play this game of looking back in the past and trying to right all of these wrongs, like, yes, if something happened to you last week, that's bad. We need to get it sorted out. That's, in theory, what the justice system is for. Okay, if something happened to like your parents, like, okay, yeah, we should still sort that out. But if you start reaching into this, well, 6 generations ago, this bad thing happened and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay. I mean, it becomes a lot more difficult to prove these things, certainly in the current state of affairs in the United States. I mean, that's way past like statute of limitations, right? And then how far do you go? Is it 14 generations? Is it 100? Do you have any documentation for any of this stuff? Like where is it okay to draw that line? And it just becomes not only like morally questionable, but it also becomes functionally impossible to sort through because how do you account for these things? It's not that you have privilege units and, harm units. It's not like you can do math and say, well, on net, this person was harmed 14 units more than they were privileged. Right? This is just nonsense. Okay. It's like using utils in economics to say how much utility someone has derived from something. It's not really possible. Okay. It's just nonsense. And yeah. So don't get me started on economics, y'all. That's a dangerous one right there. Okay. Let's get back into the song because there's lots more here.
Actual slaves fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis, controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides, trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds, big lies, deep on the police so that there's big crime. To take away our freedom, to restore order, they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system, change the pronouns. If gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions.
Okay, whoa. That kind of like dark, undulating synthesizer thing coming in here. Very Deus Ex. I was just talking about that a few reactions ago. Another song had a Deus Ex. It was the theme song to Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U of all things. But that synth pad in there is super, super Deus Ex 1. year 2000, one of the greatest video game of all time. Awesome sound, really awesome sound. So I have enjoyed all of the Tom MacDonald reactions I've done so far. This may be my favorite song just because of that. Like musically, that's super cool. I'm all in for it. I can't tell you why. I just love that. So very awesome. As far as lyrics, let's go back into those a little bit. You've got this lie to make you pick sides, all that stuff. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You always want to create division. If you're the ruler, right? If you're the one who's come in and you've set up shop to tax people over a period of time, over lifetimes, generations and generations of extortion, then you need to have people have an enemy, right? Like you need a scapegoat. Interesting little history that I learned just kind of by happenstance. The Inca civilization, so in like middle America, not middle US, but middle, North and South America in the middle. Okay, that the Inca civilization, right, one of the great empires of all history, right? They actually had other outlying civilizations that they could easily conquer that they hated the people in, okay? And they kept them alive. Why? Because the Incas had human sacrifices, right? And so they would periodically go raid and steal people from this other population and win, some military victories. It gave their soldiers an outlet for their aggression. It, provided them with human sacrifices so they didn't have to sacrifice their own people, et cetera, et cetera. But this idea of controlled opposition, this idea of, just having kind of a pool of people we don't agree with to use for purposes, right? Subhumans over here. And, if you don't think that that's how politicians think about you sometimes or all the time, depending on who we're talking about, you got another thing coming. So, yeah, they got sick minds. I like that. Okay. Defund the police so that there's big crime. I've talked a lot about this in a different video, but Detroit Threat Management Company, or it's Detroit Threat Management something. I'm forgetting the last word. This is a proven privatized law enforcement group that has worked with existing law enforcement, but they will go into neighborhoods the cops won't go into, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like they're for profit. Okay. They've never been sued for misconduct. They've set up multiple franchise locations in multiple areas. They don't even carry weapons, like firearms. And awesome. They have a completely flawless track record because the profit and loss incentive really makes them be a better organization. I don't know that defund the police so that there's more crime necessarily follows. I don't want to make this a 6-hour video. Like I'm trying. Okay. But if you look into like the history of the Wild West and all of that, you have this mental image of the sheriff comes into town and sets down the law and all that. And you had all these lawless maniacs that were doing things. And that's really not true. Like by and large, the Wild West was policed like by the people in the small towns without the need for external law enforcement. If anything, the sheriffs, and the law enforcement from the east, which was more settled, that came into the west to try to establish order in the Wild West. If anything, those guys were seen as criminals, and I mean that's easily verifiable if you actually look at that history. I am jumping all over the place today. So, as always, Tom MacDonald. I mean, there's just a ton of good stuff in here. But I could go at it. I see I'm already at 15 minutes, and this is a 4-minute song. So, yeah, a lot there. The, pronouns, genders, the spectrum, all this stuff, that I don't even necessarily want to go into that at this stage, at this particular time on these songs. It's something else that everyone can get upset about. Right. So let's go back into the song. Thank you all so much for watching me ramble about this stuff.
Pronouns of gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheeple. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been writing your.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta talk about this. So the eye in the sky kind of thing, I haven't commented on that. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people draw the comparison to Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. Okay, sure, yes. But actually, what I'm picking up more is like the Judas Priest, like Screaming for Vengeance era, you know, Eagle Eye, all that stuff. And, you know, that's some crazy, insightful stuff from 40, what are we, 40 something years ago now. That is my favorite album art of all time, by the way. Screaming for Vengeance. Amazing, amazing. But this talk about the algorithm and all that, yes. I mean, I've taught people how to do like marketing on Facebook and things like that before, and you have to understand the point of social media algorithms, especially Facebook, or specifically Facebook, although I'm sure this is true to some extent for all the platforms, is that they want you to stay on the platform. They don't want you to close your Facebook app. I use Facebook. I was just looking at my average use time. I'm on their app for about 18 minutes a day. Okay, so I'm doing okay. And I do things on there, like it's got a business purpose for me and all that. So it's not that I'm just mindlessly scrolling for hours and hours, but people do that. And you have to understand that if you're going to use platforms like that, the whole system is just there to keep you there. The longer you are on social media, the more ads you can get exposed to, the more they can fine tune what they're going to show you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, there's agenda pushing. Absolutely. You know, where do you get these for you curated videos? You know what else is really bad? Spotify. Everybody's got a Spotify subscription. Okay, well, they're pushing particular things your way and keeping particular things away from you. Not to mention, you know, a lot of things are not on Spotify. Now that's a problem with anything. A lot of things, a lot of great ideas are not printed in books, okay? So, you know, there's that problem no matter what. But Spotify, I mean, millions and millions and millions of subscribers. And it's like, okay, you know, is that your only way that you ever discover music? What kind of music are they pushing at you? I'm not sure. YouTube definitely, in any social media platform. But so, you know, that's why, for example, on Facebook, you can't post a link to an external video in your post. If you say, hey, everybody, check out this video, and you post it, or hey, everybody, check out this news article, and you post a link in your post, that will be shown to dramatically fewer people than if you say, hey, everybody, check out this link. It's about this. I'm going to post it in the comments. And then you put it in the comments. Because that way your post is not limited. It's not shadow banned or whatever, just based on the fact that it directs people to an external website instead of keeping them in the social media platform. Just a little thing you should know. If you don't know it, maybe you already know. Yeah, so that, you know, like I'm curating content for this channel, but I'm not I'm not trying to control your thoughts. I want to have discussions with you. So it's a little different. It's a little different. Chorus is really cool. This undulating synth stuff is awesome. I absolutely love that. I really don't like the term sheeple. I think it's a little funny. It's just not how I talk, but it's fine. It's fine in this song. It's not a complaint.
What do y'all believe? my sheeple. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleek, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout and use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides on the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now it's having two good legs and never taking a step forward. If you agree it's free speech, disagree it's hate speech. Erase it if it came from anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe. But you'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? My sheeple. Nothing's what it seems. If they can't convince you, they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made everybody right and left. The hatred got so intense. If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation. The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police, now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you, they don't ask questions. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investors. The system isn't broke, it's working fine. Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. While their agenda and intelligence completely classified. They don't teach your rights in school, you never learn them at all. Cause they're easy to remove if you don't know what they are. The only people you can rule are the criminal ones. So they force you into corners till you're breaking the law. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? My sheeple. Nothing's what it seems.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. A lot I want to talk about. I'm pulling up something to talk about with you, so bear with me. We're going to look at the amendments to the Constitution. I mean, there's a lot here. This could be a hour-long video. I will try not to do that. I just want to pick out a few more things now the song is over. Musically, like I say, this is cool. This is really cool. Probably, I'm in the moment. I'm not evaluating this objectively or whatever, but I really do love that undulating synth pad. Super legit. It's a really good sound. And so I like this song. It's very good. It's probably my favorite one of Tom MacDonald's. Now, talking about surveillance and talking about mass incarceration and some of those things. So let's pull up the mass incarceration bit. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investments. The system isn't broke, it's working fine, right? So let me grab the amendments. Right, so the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which is the amendment that ended slavery, right? Have you ever read it? Have you ever read that and actually grasped what it means? Okay, here's what it says. Amendment 13, passed by Congress January 31st, 1865, ratified December 6, 1865. Section 1, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2, Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So what did that just say? It says slavery is not allowed, involuntary servitude is not allowed, except if you've committed a crime and you've been convicted. I will give you some homework. Look up how many trials end in a conviction, criminal trials end in a conviction in the United States. Look up how many people are incarcerated. All of those people may be forced to work for the duration of their incarceration as slavery or involuntary servitude. It says so right there. So, why do you think that you have nonviolent drug offenses with mandatory minimum sentences, et cetera, et cetera? Why do you think that is? I don't know. Maybe you can figure it out. I don't mean to say that like you're dumb watching the video. I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to trying to be funny. So that yeah, that's one of those things I'll just launch into a really, really long tangent on. So I'm sort of shifting that back on you. It's something that's worth considering. Okay. And if you look at trends of incarceration and all that, and how many people are incarcerated in the United States versus the rest of the world, I mean, it's very, very disgusting numbers. So, yeah, I mean, the system's working exactly as intended. Slavery is illegal, but arresting people for silly things that they make up and then having slavery is perfectly fine. And so, for profit prisons, those kinds of things, yeah, I mean, it's what it is. Okay. There was the line in here about Abraham Lincoln, ending slavery. It's kind of funny to connect those dots. You may want to study the work of Thomas DiLorenzo when it comes to Abraham Lincoln. It's just what it is, man. Abraham Lincoln's body was embalmed and paraded around the states that had seceded from the United States for I don't remember the exact time frame, a very long time. His embalmed body was paraded around as a way of showing the Southerners, look at these, what you wicked people have done to this man, right? It was used as a propaganda tool. His body was used as a propaganda tool. It's disgusting. So, just a couple of things to look into on your own time, as this is not an entire video about Abe Lincoln. Okay. We good on that? Let's do that. Overall, just the song. I mean, obviously, the point of Tom's music is not just to be a fun jam, right? It's meant to be controversial. It's meant to get these kind of discussions going. I'm all for it. I don't mind if y'all want to reach out to me on an individual basis if it's a conversation you don't necessarily want to have in the comments on YouTube. Totally get it. That's what platforms like X are for. Direct message me. I'm publicly available. All my info's right here, right? I like having conversations with intelligent people. So, really cool. I did also like the video, that kind of like iRobot type of thing going on. You have the robot that wakes up and reaches out and tries to get another person to wake up. And it's great, right? And you do have to realize that if you are all a match, if you're all matches, and one of y'all gets lit, then you can light the other matches, right? Or candles, or whatever metaphor you'd like to use. A light can become a fire and it can spread. And it's very important that you share correctly informed ideas with your friends and family and coworkers, and that you spread a positive message that is going to put humanity on a better track for the future. I'm trying not to lecture right now, but it's important to have well-reasoned and carefully thought through, stances on the issues of the day, and backing your things up with facts. So, yeah, we're 30 minutes. I'm going to wrap the video up. Thank y'all so much for watching. I know there's more in the lyrics, I know, but my viewership drops way off if I do really, really, really long videos. So appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, Stephen, thank you so much for the donation request. If you have a donation request, I do prioritize those, and that is down here. And I'm very excited to jump back in and do another Tom MacDonald song sometime soon. Do subscribe to the channel if you like the content, because there's all kinds of other interesting stuff on here, and I'm going to keep doing more and more variety to reach a larger and larger audience. So it's just so fun to get all these cool comments from cool people like you. So Hangover Gang, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. And that is exactly the point of that match metaphor from before. See ya.